Hi and welcome. Today's reading comprehension is based on a science topic, that is cells, building blocks of living things. It's a pre-reading to your science textbook. May you be in grade 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 or 12. It will help you read for meaning. It will help you read for information, specific information. It will also help you build your vocabulary, that is terminology which is specific to science. The lexile level of this particular text is ranging between 810 lexile to 1000 lexile. Usually the science textbook of the students ranging from grade 6 and above till 12 ranges between this lexile. So let us read through. The students are requested to read by pausing their video and reading slowly, understanding, taking down notes. Proceeding further, kindly note that the word organism is mentioned for what is present inside the cell being the smallest unit. Kindly pause and read. Over here the word trillion, you must have heard of the numbers, the million, billion, trillion comes after that. Trillions of cells joined together. One such example is given, one cell, single cell organism that can exist on its own. Extremely tiny over here means microscopic, you cannot see it with your naked eye. Kindly make a note of this piece of information. Membrane separates one cell from the others and protects it from its outside environment. The membrane also allows some material to enter and leave the cell. Taking you further, different types, it's an introduction to different types of cells. That means after reading this, you may go to your science textbook and read about different types of cells. In this particular passage, there is no mention of any different type of cells. The function of the cell is mentioned. Another word for organisms is organelles. That means the tinier part present in a cell is an organelle. Taking you further to the exercise, we continue with the passage. Visual support is given for a better understanding. You can see these are the organelles. Reading further, let's begin with the reading exercise. MCQs. Use the process of elimination and narrow down your answers. Go back to the passage and read. Pause the video and work on the answers. You may go back to the video, the passage, and look for the answer. Let's move on to the vocabulary. The CBSE practices that you look for answers, you find a word from the passage which is given to you. For example, if the word genetic is used in the passage, the CBSE will definitely ask you find a word from the passage which means relating to genes, and then you have to go look for the word in the passage and find the response. This is a controlled exercise to build your vocabulary or make you read for meaning. If you get any of these words wrong, you may go back to the passage and read again for meaning. That means you have not understood if you get this vocabulary wrong. Let me take you through the vocabulary. Genetic, primitive, organelles, chromosomes, nutrients, microscope, organism, bacteria, survive, and energy. Let us look at the options given to us. Thread-like structures inside cells that carry genetic materials, an instrument that allows you to look closely at objects that are invisible to the human eye, including cells, remain alive, relating to genes, hereditary information that is passed from parent to child, single-celled organisms that can cause some diseases, any specialized structures inside a cell that performs specific tasks similar to organs, the strength a living thing gains from absorbing nutrients, ancient or prehistoric, substances that provide nourishment living things need to survive and grow, an animal, plant, or single-celled living thing. Let's proceed further to the writing part of it. In this article, cells, building blocks of living things, you have learned that a cell is most basic unit of life. Trillions of cells make up the human body, and each has a special function that helps to build run smoothly. Now, based on this information, we need to write an article. Using information in the article and in addition to it your science textbook, because the task that is expected of you is that you should be able to read science textbook and understand it on your own. So use information from your science textbook and describe 3 different types of cells in the human body. Remember one thing, that we have finished the local comprehension, that is the MCQ, the question answer, responding to the questions, you are looking for the answer from the text, the passage, and the meanings from the passage. Now we have moved on from local now to a global. This is the writing aspect, which is expecting you to go beyond the reading comprehension. Use your textbook and develop your writing, show your understanding regarding the topic. Describe 3 different types of cells in the human body. Make sure you share the name of the cells, describe its function of the body, and provide any other interesting fact that you find about that type of cell. For example, epithelial cells are there. There are many more types of cells. You may definitely read your textbook and try writing an article. The format in article is you have a heading, you have your name, grade and section, introduction, body, and conclusion. Now let us move to self-evaluation. Look at the answer, and the first answer is B. If the question posed to you asking you why and your answer is no, do not stop with no. You need to justify your answer no. And the same applies to question yes. You need to justify your question yes. And if there's a second part to it, why or why not, you need to explain that in complete sentences. Remember, do not respond in just a one-word reply or phrase or half the part of a sentence. You may lose marks on your reading comprehensions if it is not responded in a complete sentence. Now, moving on to the next part. The text was given and you were asked whether it is true or false. Remember one thing, that this particular question is local. That means pertaining to the passage only. It is not global. If you have assumed that the cell cannot exist because you have assumed the human body as such, please remember that it is a local comprehension. A cell can exist on its own, and example of a bacteria has been given to you. In the next question we have the same, that means the example of a bacteria that can exist on its own. According to the information in the article, what is the membrane of the cell do? I remember asking you to make a note of it. There were two such examples given over there. Do not leave the sentence and write as the answer. You need to construct it in your own words, making sure that you write both the sentences connected with and means an additional piece of information giving you the similar idea. Moving further to the answer key, we have the vocabulary responses. Look at the response over here. For genetic, the answer is D. D means relating to genes. Primitive, the response is H. Let's see what is H. Ancient or prehistoric. Then next we have organelles. Let's see what is the response. There is any specialized structures inside a cell that performs a specific task. For 4, that is chromosomes. Let us see what is the response. That is A. Thread-like structures inside cells that carry genetic material. Then we have nutrients. I is the answer. Let's see what we have for I. That is substances that provide the nourishment for living things that the living things need to survive or grow. And then we have the microscope. That is the response. The answer is B. Let's see what do we have for B. An instrument that allows you to look closely at objects that are invisible to the human eye or including cells. Organism, J is the response. Let's see what is J. Substances that provide the nourishment to living, that is I. An animal, plant or single cell living thing. Bacteria, E is the answer. Let us see what is E. Single-celled organisms that can cause some diseases. Then we have survive. Let's see what we have for survive. C, that means remain alive. For G we have energy. For energy we have the response G, that is the strength a living thing gains from absorbing nutrients. Thank you so much for paying attention.